Hey guys, my name's Alicia. I like to make sustainable fashion, thrifting kind of videos here on YouTube. And I also have my own secondhand clothing shop. I usually sell on Depop and Poshmark, but this month I'm actually going to be selling in person at a Christmas market. So a couple months back, actually, you guys may have seen my vlog where I sold at the hippie market, and that was my first ever in-person market. It was so much fun. So I've actually been invited back to their Christmas market, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Now, I don't know all the details. I think they're still being planned out, but what I do know is I only have 2 weeks to create all the things that I wanted to for this market. Yes, so because this is a Christmas market, I definitely wanted to focus more on handmade items because they are definitely more giftable. So let me show you what I've got going on right now. So I'm starting off working with this strawberry fabric, which is so adorable. I actually just picked this up from the thrift store. It was like a bed sheet originally. From that, I actually already went ahead and cut up all the pieces I need for my things. So these are going to end up being scrunchies. These are going to be little dog bandanas. And then on the floor here, I just have 2 bucket hats ready to go. So in this video, I'm going to kind of show you guys my process on how I make everything, and then eventually bring you guys to the market with me and kind of end up seeing how much money I end up making. So this is day 1. We're working with the strawberry fabric. My goal is going to be doing a different fabric every day, and then hopefully I end up with 10 scrunchies, a couple bucket hats, and 8 dog bandanas each day, something like that. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's actually been kind of a while since I last checked in. We now have less than a week until the market. So I'm going to show you guys what I've made so far. Alright, so right now I have 3 bucket hats that I just freshly made. We got 2 different kind of strawberry ones, and then this little cute teddy bear one. A whole bunch of strawberry scrunchies, a few more of these teddy scrunchies, some dog bandanas in this print, and then all of the strawberry bandanas in that print. Then I also went ahead and prepped some more scrunchies. I just haven't sewn them, but they're all cut. Some more of this print. And I actually decided to add one more item to the mix. I think I'm going to be making these kind of like hair scarf bandana thingies. So I thought this print would work really well for that. So I feel like it doesn't even seem like I've actually made that many things, but I've pretty much spent like all of my spare time this past week sewing. So this week I'm really going to be focusing on just making as much as I possibly can. But another thing that's actually been in the works is I am planning on making a little sign for my shop setup. At the last one, I just kind of had this little chalkboard with Alicia Thrifts on it, and it was cute, but it was a little bit like too DIY, I feel like. So we're stepping it up. I'm actually hiring my friend to make one for me. She has like a little Cricut machine, so it's gonna look like really, really nice. So today I'm actually gonna bring you guys along with me to go pick up some wood for the sign. And I think I'm actually gonna hit up the thrift store as well. Also, I forgot to mention, I did actually end up paying for my spot. It was $85 for like the small booth, which is big enough just for like one table. So that's really exciting because it's all like set in stone. I was honestly expecting it to be like closer to $150, so I think $85 is, you know, pretty good. Hopefully I'll be able to make much more than that at the actual market for it to be worth it. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I just picked up the wood. It's right here. It's like this big 30 by 30 piece of plywood. But in order to make a stand, I need to get hinges, and they didn't have any at the place I went to. So I think I might have to go to like Home Depot or something before I go to the thrift store. So yeah. So that was a pretty horrible thrift trip. There's literally like nothing in there that caught my eye. Even in the sewing section, there was like literally no sewing thread, which like every thrift store I've been to always has a ton of it. So that's kind of sad, but at least we got our wood and we can start making that sign. So I think I'm gonna go home now and probably spend the rest of the day sewing, to be honest. Okay, so a little update for you guys. Today is Friday and I'm officially done sewing everything. I've spent so much time sewing, I'm at the point where I'm sick of it. So all of my inventory is actually in here. I didn't actually show you guys, but I did end up picking up this really cute little Christmas kind of fabric at the thrift store last minute because I felt like I kind of needed some actual Christmas themed things. So this little print is now part of it, but now what I want to do is pretty much count out everything and figure out how much of everything I have, and then kind of figure out pricing based on that and see kind of like if I sell everything, how much money I could make. So I just counted everything. I also am bringing these 3 jackets here. These first 2 you may recognize, but this one I actually literally just whipped up like a couple minutes ago. And I actually really like how it turned out. Like, I wasn't sure about this print at first, but like seeing it on the jacket, I think it actually looks really cool. But for pricing, I basically decided the scrunchies were gonna be $5, the dog bandanas would be $10, hair bandanas $15, and then the bucket hats $40. I feel like I'm really trying to price things fairly, almost on the lower end, to be honest, because I made so much quantity. I'd prefer to sell more. So with all that being said, if I sell every single item that I have, it totals to $1,170. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting to sell everything, of course, but even if I only sell 20% of everything, which is definitely on the lower end, I'd still be making $234. So honestly, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. I don't know what I'd do with the rest of my inventory. I'd have to sell that online, I guess, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. I have no idea how much quantity I'm actually gonna end up selling, but either way, I feel like I'd be happy even with the lower end. So I feel like I priced everything pretty well that way. So I've got all my inventory, but now I'm just kind of working on my setup. I actually picked up a folding table from Facebook Marketplace because my spot is kind of smaller, so I needed a table that was only 4 feet long. I also went to Staples the other day and picked up this little sign holder just because I wanted something that I could put on the tabletop, and this is gonna have like all my prices and everything. And then I made one of these, which I think would be really cute to like display the scrunchies. And then while I was at the thrift store the other day, I actually picked up this little fanny pack for only $1.49. But what I really like about this one is that it's really thin, so you could actually keep it like under your clothes and it's not obvious. But what I'm really excited about is the big sign that we're making. My friend's actually working on it right now. She sent me a photo of it in progress and I'm super excited. I think it's gonna just like make my shop look so much more professional and like draw people in. And I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna focus more on pretty much figuring out my setup and my whole display. Okay, so today is Saturday, which means that the market is tomorrow. So right now I'm actually just doing a little photo shoot that I'm gonna post on Instagram to promote everything I'm selling. I did a bunch of trying stuff and now I'm just doing some like tabletop kind of photos. So hopefully that'll get people more interested and kind of show them like exactly what I'm gonna be selling. Okay, so I think I figured out my setup of my table for tomorrow, so I'm gonna quickly show you guys. Okay, so here's a little sneak peek. This is just the table that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and I just threw a tablecloth on here, and then you can see all of my stuff is displayed. I picked up this little wicker basket from the thrift store today just because I thought it'd be nice to have like some sort of like organization, and then I just added this little stuffy to kind of like give people an idea on what these are and like how to use them. Then I just got a mirror. Honestly, this is not my ideal mirror. I don't really like it that much, but it's good enough for now. Honestly, I've already spent too much money. Like, I don't want to spend any more. And then this is just the clear thing that I will put like a thing in for tomorrow. My little scrunchie stand here. I think it turned out so good. And then this is just a little like random like wooden box that I had that honestly I think really displays the bucket hats well. Adds a little bit of height, a little bit of depth, dimension. Added some lights, you know, for Christmas, and I think it just like makes it cool. My biggest problem was honestly finding a way to display my jackets because my spot's only big enough for just the table, so I couldn't like bring in another clothing rack just for my jackets, and I knew there wouldn't really be enough space on the table. It would basically take up the whole table, all 3 jackets. So this is the solution I came up with. So obviously this one's just hanging off the table, but then these 2 are actually hanging on what is a CD rack that actually was my boyfriend Matt's idea, so shout out to him because I feel like it works so well, and the jackets cover it, so I feel like it doesn't even like look weird or anything. So that's pretty much gonna be my setup for tomorrow. I do have my like giant not giant, but like my big wooden sign that I'm gonna pick up tomorrow as well. So I'm very excited to see all that and everything together. But I will see you guys tomorrow where we are going to be heading to the market finally. Let's cross our fingers that I actually sell some things, please. Look at the vibes. I'll add subtitles. Shopping. Is your dog looking for a bandana?
Dog wants you out.
Okay, so I'm an hour in and I've already made some sales, so it's going pretty well.
My dad worked on this show.
No way! Yeah. That's so funny.
Maybe I'll get him from for Christmas.
That's a good idea.
But I don't know if it's big enough.
Alright guys, so the hippie market's over, obviously, it's the next day, and I'm just gonna do a little breakdown of basically how it went, and let you guys know, of course, how much money I ended up making. So, it was so much fun. I really like that indoor space. I think it was really, really cool, and this was my first time having just kind of like a table set up, and I really liked it, just because I could kind of like, you know, sit behind the table and everything was like displayed. I don't know, it was like a different dynamic than having like a clothing rack, and I feel like my display worked really well. It's really cool just seeing people like walk by and like pointing at things and being like, oh my god, that's so cute, and then like seeing people try things on is just like really cool experience to like see that in real life. But at this holiday market, I ended up selling 22 different items. I sold 2 of my bucket hats, 5 of the hair bandanas, 7 of the dog bandanas, and 8 of the scrunchies. So the scrunchies were my biggest seller, which makes sense because they were the cheapest. And pretty much as the price goes up, I sold less and less of those items. So, which totally makes sense because, you know, the more expensive something is, like, the less likely someone's gonna buy something. Unfortunately, I did not sell any of my jackets, which I was really hoping for because I sold one at the last market, and I feel like this market was way busier. So I was a little bit disappointed by that because that would have just been the cherry on top, but it's all good. But that means that at the end of the day, I ended up making $265, which I think is so funny because if you guys remember when I was predicting if I sold about 20% sales, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much exactly how much money I predicted I was going to make. So clearly I'm very realistic with my predictions. But of course, I couldn't keep all of that profit because if you guys remember, I did spend $85 on the booth, on the spot there, and parking ended up being $24, which really hit hard because last time I parked in that exact same spot and it was only $12, so I guess because it was a Sunday, kind of like midday, it was more expensive, so that was a little bit brutal, not gonna lie. So after those expenses, I technically only made $156, which I feel like is still really good. I think it was about halfway through the day when I made back my money for both the booth fee and my parking. So after that, it was kind of just smooth sailing and the rest was pretty much just profit. So once I made that much money, I was pretty much like relieved because it would have been very sad if I didn't even make that money back. But it does hurt kind of trying to imagine how much money I would make if I could keep all the profits. That $85 booth fee really does suck, I'm not gonna lie. But if you guys recall, I did buy a few extra things to prepare for this market, so I technically spent more than just the booth fee and the parking fee. But if we're going to be realistic, the booth fee and the parking are payments that were specifically only for this one event, right? Whereas everything else I purchased can be used for future events and is kind of like an overall business investment. But I am going to break it down for you guys and let you know exactly how much I spent preparing for this event. So the piece of wood that I picked up for my sign ended up being $16.95. The hinges that I picked up for the sign ended up being $7.67. Who knew hinges would be so expensive? Not me. The little like acrylic sign holder that I picked up from Staples ended up being $14.68, which once again, didn't realize all these things were so expensive. The little wicker basket and that CD rack that I picked up last minute for the display was a total of $11.28 together. The table I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace was $20, and then I ended up paying my friend $40 for all of her graphic design, for my little sign and my big sign. So if you do take all of that into consideration, technically at the end of the day, I only made $45.42, which honestly I'm still happy with because I still technically made a profit. And like I said, these expenses are a little bit different because it's basically just me reinvesting back into my business because I can use all of those things for future events. And it just means that my next event, my profit margins will be even bigger. But overall, I'm very, very happy with how the event went. And I'm honestly super proud of how many sales I ended up making. But with that being said, I do have quite a bit of inventory left over. So if you guys saw anything that you're interested in, please feel free to send me a DM on Instagram if you're interested in buying anything. If you bundle 2 or more items, I will ship it to you guys for free with untracked shipping. But anyways, guys, I hope this was fun watching my whole process of prepping for the market and then showing you guys what it's like at the market. Huge shout out to Ariana and Emily for helping me this time around. Honestly, I could not imagine doing this all by myself. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.